Northern Cliff, a company distributing electricity to half of the world and yet still hungers for that other half. Quarantine? What have you got yourself into, Ada? Great!
Hi, I'm Rob Cram, and today we're taking a look at Storm in a Teacup's Close to the Sun. Italian developers Storm in a Teacup released their SOMA, Outlast, Layers of Fear-inspired first-person adventure game Close to the Sun on PC. Console versions will release later in 2019. The game setting is during the close of the 1800s and presents an Art Deco theme which will likely draw some comparisons with Irrational Games' BioShock. However, right out of the gate, Close to the Sun isn't about superpowers, shooting or even action, but presents a gripping suspenseful tale as lead character Rose investigates a deserted ship, the Helios, on instruction from her sister. Without heading too much into spoiler territory, the game fuses investigation, the odd puzzle, and the option to look closer at the nooks and crannies of the ship. Often players can head straight past many optional items of interest, and with numerous documents littered about, more details come to light for those who take the time to slow down and explore a little. The puzzles aren't too taxing either, where players possibly overthinking is cause for stumbling. The way forward isn't hindered as a result, which is good. Generally, it's a pretty easy game to navigate thanks to context-sensitive button prompts and an obvious way forwards most of the time. The game perhaps falls short in its scripted moments, where the action heats up. Rose isn't the fastest sprinter, and it's actually the moments where she needs to escape which somewhat ruins the peaceful but tense atmosphere. Sadly, Storm in a Teacup decided to force a player into tight scripted encounters where the slightest error results in death and a respawn. Rose can't defend herself without weapons, and the option to pick anything up is not the point here. A shame then, the chase scenes feel badly executed and tarnish the overall experience after dying several times rather unfairly. Luckily, the checkpoints are quite forgiving, but in a way the game didn't need these chase sequences and would have worked just as well without. Thankfully, these are far and few between, but feel somewhat tacked on considering the game's focus rests on exploration and atmosphere. Probably the game's greatest asset, aside from telling a story, is the representation of the Helios, a massive ship adrift in international waters, free from the rules and regulations of any governments. This has meant Nikola Tesla, the game's key figure, and his dedicated scientists perform the unspeakable. Again, without offering too many spoilers, players get to see some of his creativity and real-life inventions as they explore. Yet amidst the peace and tranquility, horror quite eerily presents itself. Storm in a Teacup's attention to detail is superb, and with the Art Deco theme, offers some fantastic locations. The Unreal Engine looks grand here, with neat fusions of light and dark bathed in neon-style colours at times. It's an impressive feat, which keeps the game interesting throughout. Performance-wise, players can tinker with the options to suit, but mostly our RTX 2080 Ti performed well at 2160p or 4K. Not quite holding a steady 60 FPS though, with the options maxed out. Audio comes as a mixed bag, and whilst Rose's narrative works well, some sections feel a little too forced. A Die Hard movie reference seems out of place as well, but at least it shows a bit of humour tossed in from time to time. Emily Moment, who plays Rose, does a good job overall, but some of the other cast perhaps sounding over dramatic. Music features well here, with wonderfully crafted moments to complement the visuals. The rousing score offers great oral presence throughout. The only negative is the mix seems off at times, where the voices sound too low, making it hard to hear what is said. Hopefully this will be addressed with a patch. In terms of longevity, due to the nature of the game resting firmly on adventure, there is no reason to play more than once. is a first-time deal only, which means it's advisable to explore as much as possible, take it all in the first run. Players can replay chapters and find collectible documents and letters, but the real meat of the game doesn't change. Without exploring too much, players can complete all 10 chapters in around 3 hours. Close to the Sun is an enjoyable adventure game that's light on action and will appeal to those looking for an easygoing interactive story in first person. In fact, as mentioned, the action sequences spoil the game to a degree and don't feel like they should be part of the game. An unseen, macabre or foreboding presence would have worked far better. That said, as it stands, the game is enjoyable for what it is and boasts excellent audio and visual elements, making the journey totally worthwhile. If you're after a BioShock 1.5 experience, then this is not it, despite what the visuals suggest. They might share similar themes, but that's about it. The game is less shocking horror and more about intriguing investigation, so bear that in mind. Based on its own merits, Close to the Sun feels akin to a walking sim through a fantastically realised ode to Nikola Tesla and the Art Deco period. Close to the Sun scores 8 out of 10. I'm Rob Cram. Thanks for watching.